issue back in the starting lineup. Ella Allery wins the tip. Ty Harris quickly up ahead. Danielson comes up short. Our officials today, Eric Brute, Randy Richardson, and Amy Bonner.
So Dallas has to win and hope for a Washington loss to stay in the playoffs at that number 8 spot. We've been talking about that 8 spot for weeks because Washington has made a run, and they have played really well as Ty Harris knocks down a mid-range jumper.
Rookie from South Carolina gets Dallas on the board. Liana Odom, another rookie, quickly the other way to tie it at 2.
Most rookies on New York's squad, but Dallas is the youngest team by age.
Just the 5th time in WNBA history, the average age between 2 rosters is below 24 and a half. Agumbawali, the leading scorer in the league this year, off the mark, and here comes Jasmine Jones. With a burst of speed, makes it in.
Yeah, Walt Hopkins, the head coach for New York, claims that Jazz Jones has the most energy. She's an energy giver, and he probably would grade her the highest in terms of being inside the bubble and giving great energy to the rest of her teammates.
Long rebound, back to Harris.
I honestly don't anticipate a whole lot of defense today. I think it's going to be a lot of shot making, and whoever can make the most open shots if you move the ball.
Washington with a 1-game lead after a couple of big wins this week, including one down the stretch against the LA Sparks. With a win against Atlanta later today, they would clinch the number 8 seed. Harris can continue her hot start as that one up and over the backboard.
Kia Nurse will have the responsibility initially on Arike and trying to, once she gives the ball up, you don't want her to get it back if you can keep her from getting a quality catch and try to push her away from that quality catch zone as much as possible.
Kia Stokes can't hit. Hit 5 threes yesterday in New York's loss.
And Sean, let me explain what I mean by that. Like, the quality catch zone will be in Arike's scoring range, okay? So anywhere in her scoring range is considered a quality catch because she's such a threat. As you see her knock down a fadeaway runner. She gets Liana Odom in transition, and Odom, who has great length and really good quicks, can't defend that.
I thought you were going to say you got to pick her up at half court because anything inside of that is her scoring range. As we see a 3 drop for the Liberty. Jasmine Jones with 5 early. And an offensive foul going the other way on Dallas.
Jazz Jones, a rookie from Louisville in the starting lineup. Averages 10 points a game, and if you watched her play in college, you knew she was athletic, she was explosive, she had a great mid-range, and she was well prepared to play in a pick-and-roll, pick-and-pop system that Walt Hopkins has installed inside his offensive culture.
And it certainly looked like one of the top 5 rookies this year in the league, especially once Sabrina Ionescu went down in the 3rd game of the season. Jones looking inside, has her pass deflected. After the steal, Mabry in the lane and finishes through contact.
Yeah, that's a great decision, turning the corner, keeping your dribble alive, ready to make the next read.
Zowie B to Jones. Good recovery defensively by Dallas.
Good job matching up in transition, Sean.
Zowie B with a nice fake.
Thought she might have got away with a travel. Zowie B is the best 3-point shooter for New York. As a matter of fact, Zowie B and Kia Stokes, they're 2 players that play in the post, have made the most threes.
Part of that offensive game plan for Walt Hopkins. His team puts up a record 42% of their shots from distance. As another offensive foul called against Dallas inside.
Let's take a look at Zowie B's footwork. 1, 2, 3. Oh, maybe not. Did she have that pivot foot? Was her right pivot foot? Maybe.
Well, no matter what you think, If it was 1, 2, 3 or not, Debbie?
It's a bucket, which I like. I don't like taking points off the board.
I don't know if either coach is going to like another moving screen called after Mabry picks up her first personal foul. Stokes now charged after moving.
Well, we've had 3 offensive fouls called early in the game for push-offs or illegal screens.
Sometimes what you get with the 2 youngest teams in the WNBA. And Brian Agler, who you just saw talking about his team, just maintain your composure. Nothing we can really do now after a loss to Chicago late the other night.
See, Leanna Odom actually has the assignment on Arike, not Kia Nurse. And Walt Hopkins, you know, told us in the Zoom before the game that they're not afraid to play some junk defense. They're not afraid of a box of 1 or a triangle of 2. They'll try to mix it up on Arike just because he says she can get 40 in her sleep.
Second chance bucket goes for Odom. And now full court pressure. The rookie comes up with a steal, finds Nurse, and hits the roll.
New York picking up with some full court pressure.
Thanks to Odom. Last 2 baskets she's responsible for. And New York has grabbed a 14-11 lead as we near the midway point of the first.
Well, Megan Gustafson, the second-year player, is going to get a lot of extra minutes today.
And a foul called as Samuelson was trying to go inside. But we have a great offensive start.
Building for the future, regardless of what happens, whether they get the 8th spot or not. You got to like what Dallas is doing, and you got to like the way Brian Agler has put it together.
Especially shorthanded as the Gumbawale owns 8 30-point games in the last 2 years. As that one goes in and out. That's twice as many as the next leaders. DeWanna Bonner and Brittany Griner have 4 themselves.
You know, we've been running some Cynthia Cooper sound the last couple of games about, you know, what it's like to be a great scorer, what it takes. And Cooper, who won the scoring title 3 times and won 4 championships, she talked about putting in all the work. And you can tell that Arike puts in the work to be a great offensive player. But she also has good teammates that understand her skill set.
A ballaholic. Time and place, you name it, she's going to play no matter what, right? That's what you said earlier.
Yep, ballaholic.
Mabry in trouble and throws it away as she thought she was hit. Remember what's on the line today for the Wings? Needing a win just to stay alive. They'll need some help from Atlanta too. And with the win and a Washington loss, Dallas would sneak in as the number 8 seed and play Phoenix on Tuesday. Nurse drives and it's fouled, and she'll shoot the first 2 tonight at the line for New York.
Kia Nurse has really struggled shooting the ball this year, but in the last 6 games, she's averaged 14.5, and her shooting percentages aren't great, but think about this team. They've won 2 games. She tweaked her ankle at the beginning of the year. That could throw any shooter off. And I'm not making excuses for her. I'm just stating the facts. You know, she has to take shots. She's got game experience. Obviously playing with the Canadian national team. She understands how to play the game at a high level. I think she's a great piece for New York, building for the future.
And she hasn't made any excuses herself despite a sluggish season, saying that, you know, it's been tough not having my family and not being able to go to a movie and have a chance to just get away from basketball. Sometimes that bubble gets even smaller when you're not playing your best. And look, I know I don't need somebody to tell me I'm not playing great this season. I know what I'm capable of, and I'm just going to have to go back and try to move forward as I look forward to playing overseas in the next couple of months, hopefully.
And that's absolutely the right attitude. I was talking about this yesterday. It's not what you have to do, it's what you get to do. And that can completely change your frame of mind. And Kia's in incredible shape. You know, she's a hard worker. We know how competitive she is. She'll figure it out.
We know the talent's there after she made the All-Star team in just her 2nd season last year. And after Gumbawale's free throws, she finds Jocelyn Willoughby. Too strong on the rebound to Kayla Thornton.
Odom picking up Arike early. Leona Odom's going to have to run off a lot of screens against Arike because she's really good at running her defender into screens, and there she makes a play when she gets below the free throw line for one of her teammates.
Megan Gustafson staying ready, and the lay-in ties it at 15. Willoughby powers up and rejected by Bella Alarie.
What a big-time block shot by Bella Alarie. Watch, good screen and roll in the middle third of the floor. Megan Gustafson, the lefty, ready to catch and score. Arike so good at drawing two and dropping it off to give Gustafson an easy one.
Late in the shot clock, Pally Shook with three. Nurse can't knock it down at the buzzer.
And see, that's another thing for Kia Nurse. I mean, if we go back and look, and I'm sure Walt Hopkins will because he's very much about the science of the game. I think if you go back and look at how many shots that Kia Nurse has had to take in a late shot clock situation, just because of the young team and the rookies that she's playing with, she's had to take a lot of those.
Gumbawale on the break, weaving through the defense, and now has 8 first quarter points as Dallas retakes the lead.
Dallas doing a good job getting back, loading up their defense. Watch the speed of Arike with the ball in her hands. Is she the fastest player in the WNBA with the ball in her hands? We're going to find out because we've got some awards to pass out later.
The Antonelli Awards coming up later today. What is it, 15 of them?
Got 15 non-traditional offensive awards that recognize some of the detail in the game that don't get stats. Screen assist might be the best screener. Who's the best screener? Who's the best cutter? Who's got the best mid-range? I had 2 committees, Sean. 2 committees that helped me with it.
Just 2 committees, so you know that everyone's votes matter.
That's right. And they did. And it did. That's why I had to have 2 committees. I needed a tie-breaking committee.
And I heard you had to break some ties yourself as a Gumbawale going back to the line. It's not family business, it's show business, and I can't wait to see who's going to get a golden dish in the second half. Now, are you going to ship them to the Wubble, or are they going to households?
I love it. Thank you to the guys for building this and everybody for participating to make this fun. And we're going to give out a first award right now. How about we give out the ticket selling player award? Like, who would you buy a ticket to go see? And the committee decided that who else? The best scorer in the WNBA, Arike Gumbawale. She wins the first ticket selling player of the year award in the WNBA. And I would tell you, Diana Taurasi was a close second.
The future of the league is certainly bright. Thinking of Visa Collier, Gumbawale, Asia Wilson, all in just their second year.
I bet the fans can't wait next year. They've watched this product in the bubble. They've seen how good the talent is. They know how good the young talent is. And hopefully next year the WNBA will be able to return to market. Although I will say, I do love the bubble idea for fans. All the teams in one spot for the fans, not for 7 weeks, but maybe to open up the year. I think it'd be kind of fun.
I know you have your eyes set on Las Vegas time and time again. It's something that the G League does very well for their showcase right around Christmas. You can only imagine how many people would want to see Arike Gumbawale. So many young stars. Getting a quick breather in the final minute of the first quarter.
It's a good time to give her a break, Sean. Let her take a break on a defensive possession. Give her some real-time rest.
Not only the leader in points, but the leader in minutes per game this year at 34 a night. A 10-1 run for Dallas since Kia Nurse's 3 to put New York on top. Trying to stay alive in the final game of the regular season, Paris Key puts it in.
Paris Key, another player who's made valuable use of her time inside the bubble for New York. Everybody for New York, well, all players, but especially New York. This is a tryout. This is an evaluation.
Ty Harris won't go.
Joyner Holmes, so athletic. Looking forward to watching Joyner Holmes develop. See your defensive rebound and get in transition. And there's that miscommunication when you have players that haven't played together in a while.
Harris feeds Alarie, and the rookie connection results in another nice Dallas basket. Final seconds. Paris Key, thanks to the defense by Alarie, won't get it off in time at the end of the first quarter, and it's Dallas.
Oh, it's really challenging to keep her in front because she's so explosive with the basketball.
Already one Antonelli Award. Will she garner 2 or maybe 3 as New York lays in to start the second?
Really good ball movement by New York coming off the timeout. It's amazing how many teams coming off their timeout really get the second side offensively, and it's usually a good reminder by the coaching staff.
Mabry short, got her own miss back. Tries it again, you bet.
You want to talk about confidence and a little bit of swag, you can put Marina Mabry's picture next to that. She's a tough competitor, and she's not going to worry about missing a shot. She's going to worry about the next shot.
How great has she been in the starting role with Ogunbowale in the backcourt, just like old times. Key, too strong. Battling for the rebound, can't get it, and it goes back to Dallas.
Marina Mabry stays involved, gets an offensive rebound, and knows that there's no one close enough guarding her. She sees them mismatch, and you don't come with a long closeout. She's got range.
Now, is that your best shooter this season?
Actually, Marina got some votes, but she didn't win the Best Shooter award as she knocks down back-to-back triples. Maybe the committee ought to reconsider. It's too late, though. The votes are in.
I don't think you got to re-vote after a couple of great possessions, but well, let's go to your winner for Best Shooter this season, Debbie.
Well, the committee decided that Allie Quigley was the best shooter, and again, ironically, Diana Taurasi finished a very close second. Allie Quigley has proven over time in her brilliant WNBA career that she, because she's had to work so hard to develop her game over time, she's one of the best stories in the league as well. Just because she's put the time in, and she scored over 2,000 points in college at DePaul, but this year she's had a remarkable year playing along Courtney Vandersloot, her wife.
Now the all-time leading scorer in Sky history. I love what you said, too. Remember, Allie Quigley, her first 5 years in the league, she played less than 30 games. And has said, too, that you don't give up. You just keep finding ways to outwork yourself and get better overseas. So when the time comes, you're ready to prove yourself.
Now Jocelyn Willoughby will have an opportunity on Henrique. And see, she draws so much attention. Driving into the paint, and Katie Lou hits a three, and now we've got a technical foul.
Heard a double technical foul called on the floor as Dallas starting to get hyped up. 3 straight threes, 2 by Mabry, another one by Samuelson, and the lead has quickly grown to 12 as Marina Mabry and Jasmine Jones each are assessed technicals.
At the end, you see Marina Mabry and Jasmine Jones get tangled up. That's a little Louisville and Notre Dame confrontation. Those two played against each other. 3 years in college.
As you know, Jones not going to back down against anyone, as she has been so much fun to watch in her rookie season. And I can't wait, Debbie, to see her back with Asia Durr next season. Hopefully, if New York can get back to playing at home at the Barclays Center.
You're right, Sean. It's going to be a different looking New York team with Sabrina Ionescu and Asia Durr on the top of the floor running the offense. It's a lot of combinations that you can go to and a lot of scoring ability in the backcourt. Kia Nurse won't have to take all those end of the shot clock shots next year.
Out the 12-point lead, Mabry again. Marina Mabry has caught fire in the second quarter, and now with 11 points as Dallas takes a 15-point lead.
Marina, you shoot till your arm falls off. Maybe she'll get 40.
Odom. You can tell Mabry playing with a little bit of fire herself after being snubbed to the Best Shooter Award.
What a great take by Ty Harris. And Marina Mabry, full of confidence, full of swagger, which we've already discussed. She single-handedly, with the last 3 triples, has helped Dallas separate from New York in the second quarter. But we know no lead's really safe in the WNBA because of the 3-ball, especially early in the game. There's a lot of possessions left.
Especially New York, that is shooting a record number of field goal attempts from 3. 42% of their shots this season have come from deep. That will set a WNBA record after today, in which Washington last year, the Mystics, who won the title, of course, shot about 36% of their attempts. A rare mid-range shot from Jasmine Jones off the mark. Ogunbowale steps back and can continue the strong second quarter. Odom ahead of the pack. Lays it in again. The speed and athleticism on display by the rookie.
That's one way that Leona Odom can really help New York. She's defending, and then she gets out on the break quickly, using that length to finish at the rim.
Before Ogunbowale can get free, Gustafson called for the offensive foul on the moving screen. Our first team second of the second quarter.
Good triple switch inside by Dallas defensively.
Zahui B whips it over to Odom, but lost the handle out of bounds.
Yeah, that's the kind of defensive effort that Brian Agler's got to be really pleased with. They blow up the first action, they force them into a second, they rotate, they triple switch on a roll to the basket. I mean, he hasn't had the practice time that he usually, none of the coaches have, but one of the things that Brian Agler has always been really good at is defense. And once they have time to really work on their schemings with this young team, they're going to be even better. And they're going to be really exciting to keep your eye on, certainly next year. And certainly potentially in the playoffs.
Still a chance to make the postseason. But Dallas needs a win today and an Atlanta win over Washington later. But the youngest team in the WNBA this year, no one over the age of 27, fighting until the last day of the regular season in Bradenton. That one in and out for Samuelson.
Look at the spacing by New York.
New York now just 2 of 11 from downtown. Marina Mabry has more threes in this second quarter. Ogunbowale's pass taken away by Zahui B. And the easiest 2 she'll get all night.
Yeah, I think the ball got stuck in Enrique's hands and no one was moving. And then when Marina cut towards the ball, she brought another defender, and, you know, there was just too much standing in that possession, which allowed New Bonner to Connecticut from Phoenix. That was considered to be the best offseason move, with Skylar Diggins and Phoenix finishing second. I think it's fun. The committee did a great job. It was a lot of fun to do this, and it's an effort to have some fun and recognize some other skill sets or some other things that don't get stats or don't get recognized. So like playing in the pinch, it is a really valuable skill set for A'ja Wilson, and part of the reason why Vegas is one of the best teams in the WNBA.
Dallas still fighting for the final playoff spot in the WNBA this year as a defensive 3-second call is called against the Dallas defense. The Wings need to take care of business here with a win today, and then a Mystics loss against the Dream later. But boy, Mike Thibault's team, what a surge at the end of the year, led by Myisha Hines-Allen, who has not only played like the most improved player in the league, Debbie, but I know you were saying yesterday a potential all-WNBA player.
Well, I mean, I think she's a second-team WNBA player for sure. You can put her in the most improved category, but I think she could be on the second team. I think she's been terrific, especially late when the games have been necessary to win, to advance, and she's been right there making all the plays for Washington.
Kayla Thornton being checked out behind the Dallas bench. This team that has been dealing with so many injuries. No Satou Sabally, no Alicia Gray today. Two of their top 3 scorers behind Agumbawale. A travel called against Nurse, going with the hesitation.
Well, let's hope that Kayla Thornton is okay and can return, because they're already at 7 based on this injury report, and if she can't go, that would take them down to 6 players that would be available for this last game of the regular season to play.
Now remember, Isabel Harrison and Mariah Jefferson each suffered season-ending injuries just past the midway point of the season. So Dallas, last 3 weeks have only been playing about 7 or 8 a night. Harris has her shot blocked. Jones feeds ahead. What a nice pass to Stokes.
What a great defensive possession, and then a breakout and great catch by Kiah Stokes to finish at the rim. We know New York is a competitive, hard-working team. They never quit. There's not been any quit in them, even though they have struggled to find W's. I do think they have gotten better in certain areas.
Too strong. Odom finishes the feed.
So I don't have the official tally in front of me, but of the 12 baskets that New York has scored, I think 5 of them have been layups, like wide open layups.
18 of their 28 coming from in the paint. And you can tell Amanda Zahui B, one of the few veterans, hyped up after another big stop. And surprising to see too, Debbie, because New York's offense is normally around the rim or from 3. And after another stop, the illegal screen called on the rookie Allery gives it back to New York as they're gaining some momentum.
So I don't get that foul, because I thought her progress was being impeded by Zahui B. And she wasn't going to set a screen either, so she was trying to cut to the top and not allowed to do so. But here's the thing, Sean, as this game goes on, right, New York keeps this thing competitive. Then the shot-making ability for Dallas becomes more under duress. Like, there's more pressure. New York has no pressure on them at all. They're just playing to have fun, finishing out hard, you know, strong. They're leaving the bubble. They're probably leaving the bubble today.
Seattle over Phoenix. And the good news is, at least for those two, and Las Vegas as well, their postseason won't begin until next Sunday when the semifinals begin. Stokes hesitates, but not rewarded with the basket. Zahui B whips it in. Oda hits another one in the paint. That's her 5th basket of the first half in there.
Well, we were remarking during break that Odom is 5 for 7 from the floor. And she has all layups until having to finally have to make a shot. Everything else has been a layup for Odom.
Harris nearly intercepts instead. It's Zahui B right down Broadway for another layup. New York keeping it close. Samuelson can't connect. Rebound to Allery in a second chance.
Good job setting up Marina Mabrey. Smart.
And she knocks down another 3-pointer. 4 of 6 from deep. here in the first half.
You could see Ty Harris reading that opportunity before she put the dribble down to draw 2. Smart play. 4 triples for Marina.
Nurse. Can't answer back, and Mabry wins the tap. Former college teammate Agumbawale can't stick it. As we're coming up on 1 minute to play in the second quarter, the final day of the regular season. What a fun season it's been in the WNBA. The 8th and final playoff spot on the line. Jones called for it with 5. Nurse. Too strong, and Mabry another board.
Yeah, I think Kia Stokes turned down a couple of chances to shoot a 3 in that possession, and she made 5 in the game yesterday. And when you've got that ability and confidence and you're shooting it well, you can't turn it down. Again, another late shot clock opportunity for Kia Vaughn. Excuse me, not Kia Vaughn, Kia Nurse. Good defense right there by New York.
A good point you make as Stokes catches. Nice cuts. Odom another layup. Is New York saying that, yeah, our shooting numbers haven't been great this year, but we can't compliment our coaching staff led by Walt Hopkins enough as they continue to tell us to be confident and take those shots. We've seen players like Kia Stokes do it in practice, and to finally have 5 made threes in yesterday's game. A good sign of things to come for the Liberty. Jones, Odom ahead of the pack and lays it in at the buzzer.
They've made 2 threes, 1 other long range 2. The rest of their points are in the paint. They've got 7 layups and 4 other short jumpers in the lane. That's good offensive shot selection for New York, and a big reason why they're in this game.
Going inside again, Jones can't finish. Odom whacks it away. And has a career-high 16 points to start the second half.
She's got 16 while checking Enrique most of the first half.
Dallas with the 6 available players at the moment. Agumbawale can't hit.
Okay, Enrique's wide open on that shot right there. Good chance to step into it, and she just misses it right. But you take a look at the first half stats, you see those 2 triples I talked about, 6 threes for Dallas, and Marina Mabry getting 4 of those 6.
Agumbawale now 0 for 5. As Odom powers it up and in yet again.
Liana Odom having a great game in the final game of the regular season. As you mentioned, her career high, she's adding to her career high.
Previously 12 in a game against Atlanta earlier this month. Samuelson open. Can't drain it.
Well, this is a problem for Dallas if they're getting wide open shots and they're not knocking them down.
Jones continues the hot start for New York in the third. They trailed by as many as 16 in the second quarter. And a late run, and now 6 straight to start the third give them a 42-41 lead. Mabry can't end the drought.
And the tighter this game stays, the more pressure there becomes for Dallas to make shots. Because New York's made 3 out of their first 3. So they've scored 3 baskets to come out of the break. And one was an offensive rebound. Good timeout.
Another New York basket. Dallas, Washington. That game tipped off at 5 o'clock. The final game of the regular season. Game number 132, just important as number 1. And after a 36-20 lead, Dallas has gone ice cold. Working back into the game, and another short shot.
Yeah, every shot is short right now for Dallas. They got to get their legs into it. Except
Mabry.
Mabry knows how to shoot it. 5 triples in the game for Marina Mabrey. She's got 17, Sean, and she does a good job of running the floor hard and wide and making herself available on the catch.
And ties her career high with that last made one.
Look at the great spacing by New York. No one in the paint, 5 out, and Jasmine Jones is going to work here in the third quarter.
The rim expanding for the rookie. Has 11 along with Odom's 18. Gordon throws it away, and Harris can't save it on the sideline.
Yeah, Dallas's body language isn't good right now. Coming off the timeout, they don't look like they're playing with a measure of mental toughness, and they're going to have to pick it up. Otherwise, Marina Mabrey's going to have to take every shot. And I think Enrique's got to start coming alive as Jasmine Jones, getting into that mid-range pull-up jump shot, does a great job off the bounce, creating some separation from her defense.
Gumbawale hasn't scored since the end of the first quarter. The #1 scorer in the WNBA, stuck on 10 points. Zowie B falling away is fouled by Thornton.
That's a tough fadeaway, mid-range jump shot that you commit a foul on. That is a really high probability of not going in. And so now you bail out Zowie B and bail out New York's offense, and you put them on the free throw line. And I think if New York was going to give out a best player or most improved or who was the key to their season so far, I think Zowie B would be the winner of that. She has got multiple level skills offensively. She certainly shoots the three so well. She made the most threes for this team, and she's very good in their pick and pop, which they love to play in space.
Nearly led an upset of Las Vegas earlier this year and also had a 21 rebound game against the Aces in the second meeting. Gumbawale down the lane, hits the deck. Going back to the free throw line where she was 4 of 4 in the first quarter.
And Enrique is trying to keep her composure right here. Jasmine Jones is getting in her head a little bit. And you see Marina Mabrey immediately go to her old roommate in college and her teammate now. And she played 4 years with in the backcourt. Making sure that Enrique keeps her focus where it needs to be. And see Marina right here, this is what you call being a good teammate. She's going to take care of it for Enrique. She's going to go over to Eric Bruton and explain, hey, listen, they're all over Enrique. You always call her for the push-off, but they're all over her. That's probably what the conversation was like, something like that.
Still 2 points for Gumbawale. And Napping going back. Lays it in, and New York with 32 points in the paint.
There is no excuse on a made free throw to give up a layup on the other end.
Gumbawale hits it from deep. Like you were saying too, the interior defense has to be better for Dallas to win.
Yes, they got to sprint. You got to run the floor and hard.
Nurse turns the corner.
Hey, this is New York's advantage. Their post players getting up and down. Enrique finally, as you mentioned, Sean, hasn't scored since the end of the first quarter. Is starting to get in rhythm a little bit from the free throw line. Sometimes when you make some free throws, you see a big basket. And right here, Enrique has got to get her focus back. And you see Marina Mabrey taking care of that right now. It's probably something like, hey, listen, let's just do this together. We got to do it. It's you and me. Just like the old days at Notre Dame.
Mabrey, drafted by Los Angeles a year ago and played her first season in the league. But once she entered the starting lineup, Enrique was mentioning how comfortable she was out there with Mabrey and said that she doesn't trust anyone more in this league than her former backcourt teammate. And it's Mabrey. No good. Thornton Ford and another foul.
But you know what, Sean? That's the kind of extra effort that Dallas is going to need right now. All of a sudden, Enrique hits a few shots. They get New York's gotten underneath their skin a little bit with the way they've played defensively. and the breakout layups that they've been able to get, those are demoralizing for any team when a team continues to get breakout layups. And now Kayla Thornton comes up with a big offensive rebound.
Didn't know if she was going to be available coming into the second half. Brian Agler mentioning to us that after she exited with an injury and was checked out on the sideline. Good to see her back in the game as Satou Sabally and Alicia Gray out today for the Wings. Nurse, too strong up last.
Those shots around the rim are shots all year for Kia Nurse.
Foul called inside.
See, Megan Gustafson with a really hard screen and roll in the middle third draws that foul. Kia Stokes is saying, what did I do? Well, you impeded her progress.
Stokes' second personal and the third on New York in the quarter.
What was that thing Sue Blatt was talking about at the beginning of the year? Squibber? Isn't that what the word was? Speed, quickness, whatever. You can't impede their progress.
You can add that one to the dictionary. I know we've mentioned so many times how the players have had to grind through the schedule. How about a quick shout out to the 18 officials who have been in the Wubble all season long and rotating through these triple headers every single day with a rare off day on Monday.
Speed, quickness, balance, and rhythm. That's what I'm talking about. Squibber. And I bet 144 players, about half of them just rolled their eyes like, yeah, right. Jasmine Jones is having what an incredible third quarter.
I was going to say she's making everybody's eyes go wide. An impressive 6 of 8 shooting performance from Jones. And another bump inside.
Jazz Jones with a lot of confidence. And again, transition defense for Dallas. They are not matching up.
Megan Gustafson at the line following the foul on Zowie B.
I mean,
and hey, fans, there's still time to cheer on your team from home using Tap to Cheer in the WNBA app by tapping on your team's logo to show support. The team with the most taps at the end of the game wins. Be sure to go to WNBA.com to check the leaderboard and see how your team stacked up against the rest of the league.
Dallas's one-on-one defense is not good, and Jasmine Jones is taking advantage. They have really done a good job of making Arike play in traffic, C2 in the gap, making it tough for her to get to the paint. Arike is 4 for 11, 1 for 7 from the three-point line. She has made all her free throws, and she has 15. As you take a look at Alicia Gray, who is out with a knee, and Satou Sabally, one of the best rookies in the WNBA, is in the concussion protocol. Those are two starters that Brian Agler would typically have during this playoff push.
And they were great against Seattle earlier this week. Sabally putting up 25 before exiting in the second half with an injury. Like you said, Sue Bird collided with her, and she's been out the last couple of games. So much young talent on this Dallas roster. Trying to close the 2020 regular season with a win as Zowie B muscles it through. And New York going to the line looking to extend the lead to 7.
Zowie B has Katie Lou Samuelson goes for the steal, and Zowie B looks to attack. And Marina Mabry late on rotating over to help.
Set now for Zowie B, and off the miss.
Kayla Thornton
coming up limping.
She travels with the ball. She and Allery going for the rebound. I mean, there's not any New York Liberty player in the area, and thankfully she's okay.
11th turnover by Dallas. That pass stolen away by Agumbawale. A rare chance to run. Enrique going to shoot two. And with Dallas in the bonus for the rest of the quarter, maybe they can take advantage at the free throw line as their shorthanded team can hit some breathers here and there.
Enrique crosses up Willoughby and gets some contact in the paint. You know, sometimes you could look at that play and say, did Enrique initiate the contact? Was Willoughby principal verticality?
Agumbawale herself taking a moment before heading to the stripe. Brian Adler's had plenty to deal with as the youngest team in the WA. No one over the age of 27 this year for him. They've continued to fight and remain in the playoff race down to the final day.
They bring the double to the block. They rotate out of it. They got some turnovers in the first half doing that.
Kylie Shook looking for Jones. Another trip at the line for Jones coming up as her former college teammate, Kylie Shook, beats her in New York, playing very well after trailing by as many as 16 in the second quarter.
Well, sometimes when you struggle to score offensively, and I would sort of put Dallas in that category right now, shooting 37% from the floor, which is below their season average. You got to do something defensively to change the rhythm of the game. So you're seeing Brian Agler's team bring a double to the low block and trying to make Kylie Shook make a play out of that. And I don't know how she was able to squeeze that pass in there to Jasmine Jones, but Jazz made a great basket cut to get to the free throw line.
Jones along with Liana Oda, 18 points apiece. Dallas needs a win to stay alive for the number 8 seed. Great pass by Agumbawale as all the bodies hit the floor.
You watch Enrique Agumbawale get inside the paint and make this play. Bella Allery, another easy one based on the penetration by Enrique. Enrique does have 3 assists in the game.
That was one of the developments college coaches talked about is, well, we know she's been a great scorer. But what can she do to make her teammates better? And what can she do defensively? She's made significant improvements in her second year in the league. Five on the shot clock. A defensive 3 seconds called against Dallas late in the shot clock. Well, Walt Hopkins' team, only 2 wins on the year as of right now. And even after yesterday's team lost to Washington, it said, you know, it's only frustrating for me because I'm not looking at the score on the sideline. I'm locked into our game. And I look over late in the game and see that we're down by 15, 20 points. It just doesn't seem that real because we've been playing so hard. But one of those things we have to cut down going into next year is the turnovers. They gave it up 26 times yesterday.
Yeah, but also one of the things that he said with this young team is he wants them to try to throw the pocket pass or to try to get to the paint against a closeout when maybe you might not have done that. He wants them to try so they'll have some film to evaluate. It's kind of like instilling the don't be afraid to fail philosophy. Give it a try. I mean, this is evaluation time, right? They're going to evaluate every piece of their personnel and what their offseason might look like, knowing that Sabrina Ionescu and Asia Durr will be ready to come back.
Even Kia Stokes commenting yesterday that basically her whole career in New York, it was Tina Charles's team. And going into this year, there was so much youth and uncertainty of who were going to be the major pieces. Walt Hopkins has instilled confidence, not only in me, but a lot of our rookies, that our team is reminding ourselves, you got to trust each other. You got to trust yourself first. And it's been very interesting to track this season, as this has been a great experience for New York to get a lot of players on the floor and develop their games.
Well, keep in mind, he's young. This is his first head coaching experience. He started as a trainer. He was Layshia Clarendon's trainer, and he worked himself into a WNBA coach.
Youngest head coach in the WNBA, liking his team's performance. Nurse no foul, but the follow goes.
So this is a dangerous time right here for Dallas. They have got to get a little bit tougher in running through their sets and getting to their actions a little bit quicker. Or just give the ball to Marina, because she's got 22.
A new career high for the second-year guard. Final minute of the third quarter, Dallas needs to come back in order to have a chance to play in the postseason on Tuesday nights. Mallory late to defend. Zahui B will put New York at the line for the 16th and 17th times today.
Well, it's a terrific slip by Zahui B, because they've been running that drag screen and that step-up screen on the lane line, and she is so good at popping that you have to be able to defend both of those actions with her. That's what makes her so dangerous and so good.
She's been one of the best rebounders in the league this year. And as Debbie has mentioned, the best three-point shooter this year. She has been all over the floor for New York. One of the lone players on the roster that's been in the league more than 2 seasons.
I mean, she had 21 rebounds against Las Vegas in a game earlier this year, and that's the best rebounding team in the WNBA. It's impressive. It's not just the balls that are over your head, it's the ability to pursue the rebound.
Helping put New York ahead by 6 late in the third. Mabry dishes inside, and Gustafson will head to the line for Dallas, as both teams trying to take advantage of being in the bonus.
Gustafson to the line, shooting 2.
Really outside of Mabry, with the shots not falling for Dallas. Getting to the line going to be crucial in the comeback attempt to keep their season alive.
Megan Gustafson is a worker. Brian Agler told me earlier in the season she would make 200 threes every day in the quarantine time. So she's really working to extend her game and extend her range, because she's got the best hook shot in the WNBA.
Although hasn't played too much this year, the stay-ready mentality has worked for her. Shook shot blocked. And a violation on New York. Marina Mabry not giving up an inch. And very impressive on both ends of the floor. Final seconds to the third, Ty Harris. Inside, and it won't go. A 4-point lead for New York after 3.
Agler is using this real time with a couple of possessions to save her for what will be the clutch time that he'll need her.
Washington with a win clinches the 8th seed no matter what. So even with the win, Dallas needs some help from Atlanta. Well, eliminated with a potential loss here in the 4th quarter. Dallas struggling from the outside. Besides Marina Mabrey, they've been trying to pound it in the paint and get to the free throw line as Thornton draws the first foul on New York.
That is the second big offensive rebound that Kayla Thornton has gone to the glass and crashed the boards for. That's a really important possession to keep the ball alive. I mean, that's an important role. And Enrique's back in. Only one possession, she was out.
Thornton open, can't hit it. And outside of Marina Mabrey, 6 of 9 shooting from 3. The rest of Dallas is 3 for 20.
Including Enrique, 1 for 8. New York's done a good job defensively. They've played with a lot of energy on that end of the floor. Good cut.
Zowie B's floater drops in. Now up to 13 points to go with 8 rebounds. An incredibly efficient day for New York, shooting 51% from the floor.
This has got to be one of their best shooting games in a long time in the bubble.
Gumbawale still can't hit from outside. New York has been taking advantage inside most of this game.
Brian Agler trying to get his team to get some movement, get some spacing. You see it's a two-man game clear out for Enrique and Gustafson. And Megan Gustafson playing the most minutes that she's played in the WNBA. She's got 15 minutes in the game. She's got 8 points and a couple of rebounds. Good roll to the rim.
Harris Key knocks it down. Gustafson picks herself up. Only at 32 minutes total on the season coming into today's game. Mabrey with 5, puts it up. And no whistle, it'll go back to New York.
You're talking about a couple of stops here and a couple of scores. I think Brian Agler is probably thinking fatigue and rotations and all of that. He won't make it as an excuse, but certainly you can see that New York, playing on a back-to-back, is playing with great energy.
Dallas limited to just 7 players these last 2 games. Trying to dig deep, trailing by 6. And a big stop as Gumbawale collects the board. Into the paint. Can't get it to go and commits a foul in frustration. Thanks to Marina Mabrey and Gumbawale now heading to the bench. Dallas was up big, but then it was New York starting to leak out in transition. And you said it even after playing a back-to-back. Looks just a step quicker today.
Well, I think it's gut check time. I mean, how badly do you want to win, right? Because you really got to dig in and get in the stance here. You got to keep New York in front, keep them out of the paint. They've only made 3 threes, and Jasmine Jones keeps going to work, getting inside. Look at the hustle.
Mabrey picks Zowie B's pocket. Outside to Harris. Hallery pivots and the second chance goes in.
Good, strong, two-handed rebound. Good pivot inside. Good finish in traffic.
Jones puts it on the deck and has it stripped from Mabrey. Foul in the backcourt on Jones.
Watch Bella Alarie get weak side rebounding position. Two-handed rebound in traffic. You got to know where you are on the floor, and that's great footwork inside to finish around the rim. That's the kind of toughness play right here. That's what Dallas is going to need. They're going to need to really get tough here in the next 6 minutes, because Jasmine Jones has made winning play after winning play here in the second half.
Only down by 4. Dallas looking to cut into the deficit with a timeout coming up. Nurse into the paint, and is swatted back by Alarie. Extra possession, Stokes. All hits.
Go back and get it, Arike.
Alarie has it blocked from behind. But Dallas will keep possession, trailing by 4 with
their hands. And then Angel McCautry, the best cutter for the Antonelli Awards. And thanks again to the committees for all their help as Arike drains the mid-range jump shot.
18 points for her today, but just 8 since the end of the first quarter. Only a 2-point deficit for Dallas, needing to win to stay alive for the number 8 seed. And a chance to run. That's swatted away by Jones.
What a hustle play, an effort play by Jasmine Jones. And you see that since leading by 16, New York has scored 51-33 against Dallas. And there's a lot of transition opportunity there, and a lot of mid-range jump shots by New York.
40 points in the paint for New York today.
You know, it's winning time, though. It's winning time. Who's going to make the most winning plays? Like that right there. That's the 3rd offensive rebound in this half for Taylor Thornton.
But does Dallas have the legs to continue this run? And Oda doing what she's done all day, up to a career-high 20 points.
I've actually lost track of how many layups she's made in the game on breakaways. Like, she's releasing. Dallas has got to find somebody to check that.
Harris on the mismatch, puts it in over Stokes.
See, this is when you want players that have won in the past that understand what it's like to play in a pressure situation, and certainly Ty Harris understands that playing at South Carolina.
Nurse turns the corner and blows by.
Great job, Sean. Everybody lifted above the free throw line, and Kia Nurse turns the corner and sees a wide open lane.
Gumbawale into the lane, was bumped. And they count the basket. A 3-point play opportunity for Arike Gumbawale.
Again, this is a great step. Brian Agler has gone to this late. They get some misdirection on the top of the floor, and then they get the clear out in the 2-man with Arike and a screener. And it doesn't matter who the screener is. Screen and then roll hard and get out of the way. Because Arike needs that space to operate, and she can create it on her own, but the hard roll to the rim helps her create that space.
How good have we seen her in clutch time this year, meaning games within 5 points with under 5 minutes to play in the 4th quarter. And saw it last Sunday when she tied the game against Washington in the final second. And with a career-high 39, willed Dallas to a win in overtime. Can she do it again in the final game of the regular season? Nurse, one more.
The same set. Ron Hopkins not overcoaching it. You score on it, you go right back to it until they stop it.
Gumbawale getting it to go, falling away. Long pass. Too far ahead of Zowie by 1, and with the basketball, her 23. A game high. What does she have left in the tank as a short-handed Dallas team trying to stay in the playoff hunt with a win? The rookie Odom still on her. And a blocking foul called against Kia Nurse. That'll be her 5th personal and the 4th team foul on New York.
So Brian Agler comes back with that same set on the other side of the floor, and this time it allows Arike to get to her right hand and get to the paint, and that's where the game has been decided so far. New York has outscored Dallas 46-22 in the paint, and that's the key to the game right there. Can Dallas keep New York out of the paint for the rest of the game, and can they finish over here on this side and not have empty possessions?
Playing the shot clock, Agumbawale falling away. Can't put it in, but Thornton another offensive rebound.
Again, Sean, another winning play by Thornton.
Harris back out to Samuelson. Under 2 minutes to play in regulation. New York clinging to a 1-point lead.
Got to keep Jack Jones out of the paint.
Steps back and can't knock it down.
Now that's the kind of defensive effort that Dallas needs right here. You keep her out of the paint, you force New York to take a perimeter jump shot. They've only made 3 threes. And actually, they've only made 8 shots outside of the paint.
They have stuck to what has worked today. Agumbawale back into the paint, has it not. Have to take care of business themselves first as Maybury all alone gives Dallas the lead. The ATO works to perfection. Jones powers it in.
Jasmine Jones has had her way getting into the paint all game. 8 for 12 for 21 points for the rookie.
Final minute for Dallas. Agumbawale to Harris. No good rebound, Kia Stokes. No need to foul yet if you're Dallas.
Well, and that's right. No fouls, play good D. They do have fouls to give though.
Jones passed it by Harris. But it's still right back.
Now you got a foul. Oh, Stokes takes a shot. She didn't need to.
An unnecessary shot.
And there is a change of possession, so the shot clock gets reset. You didn't need to take that shot. Gives Dallas a chance. And an and-one opportunity.
Get in. And we'll head to the line looking to give Dallas a 2-point lead.
Are you kidding me? New York did not need to take that shot on the other end. Arike, off balance, with contact, throws it off the glass. How clutch is that?
16 second half points. No timeout for New York. Jones. A rebound by Thornton. How big has she been on the glass in the 4th quarter?
What an incredible... I kept talking about winning plays, Sean. Winning plays. And New York hasn't won a lot of games. They haven't been in positions like this very often at the end of the game to be able to have the ability to make the winning plays. And it's unfortunate for New York because if Kia Stokes had hung on to the basketball, they were going to have to foul her.
Game's still not over yet.
Right. But
Thornton now 5 of 5 at the line to go with 9 huge rebounds.
And it can't go unnoticed, the 4 offensive rebounds she got in the second half that were winning plays.
An immediate timeout.
I agree with
The
Walt.
Wings in the playoffs. Still 5.5 seconds left after another New York timeout. Jones won't go. Thornton the rebound, and Dallas comes back to win.